Hi and welcome to the absolutely stunning Aphrodite Hills Golf Resort here in Cyprus. My name is Chris Ryan and today's video we're looking at the takeaway, and I'm going to explain to you some of the things that can influence how the club moves away from the ball, because I often see golfers trying to fix a fault with another fault, not really understanding exactly the root cause of exactly what is causing that club to behave the way it does. Just before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit about what a golf swing might look like if we were stood up without any kind of bend or tilts and the club was out at about eye level. So let me just take a sort of starting position. As you can see, I'm just stood up normally, and I'm going to put the club out so the head is about level with my eyes. Now, if we were to say we were going to make a golf swing where this club head, we wanted to stay on a perfectly horizontal line around my body. And this would be our sort of model we're going to work on. Now, what you'll notice is if I have no influence on this golf club through my hands or my arms, but if I was to increase the tilt forward in my body, the club would move downwards. And I think we'd all be fairly happy that would be the case. So the more flex I have in my body, the club would move downwards. If I move my body towards a more extended position, so more of an arch back position, the club would rise upwards. Now, again, hopefully you're going to agree that that's exactly what would happen. That's not me manipulating with my hands or my arms lifting up off my body. That's very simply me changing the angles in my body, and the club head would rise up or down. Hopefully you're with me so far. So what would happen if I rotated my chest away and did nothing with my hands? Well, hopefully the club would stay on its horizontal line that we'd chosen at the start. But what about if I rotated myself away as I added some forward bend? Well, what would happen then is the club would start to work downwards for the reason we've spoken about before. We said when I add forward bend, the club moves down. So if I rotate and add forward bend, the club will move down. Vice versa, if I rotate and add extension, the club will move more upwards. So you can see here, I can influence where this club head goes by what my body does in that first movement. On all those examples, my body was rotating, but if I'm rotating and adding bend, the club will move down. And if I'm rotating and losing bend, the club will rise up. And hopefully that's a model we can all sort of get our heads around. The same exact thing happens with the golf swing. We are not on a horizontal angle. It would be a lot easier if we were, unfortunately not. However, we are applying the same sort of principles. So the difference would be here, I have already got some forward bend. I've got some flex in my body at setup. However, I can still increase that flex or reduce that amount of flex. So there may well be many of you out there who are struggling with your takeaway. Maybe you feel as if your golf club moves too much out and up, or maybe your golf club comes too much in. And there would be, I would suggest, a lot of golfers out there who would fall into one of those two categories. Now, these golfers are very often trying to use their hands and their arms to position the golf club into something that might look a little bit more desirable. Maybe they've got a mirror behind, or maybe they've videoed their golf swing, but they're trying to effectively manipulate the club into the position that they would like to see. Very often, the body has a huge part to play in this, as we've just discussed. So, if I rotate my chest away, and as I'm doing that, I begin to lose some of the forward bend, the club rises up. Similar, exactly the same as what we said in that previous example. If in my takeaway, I rotate my chest, but I increase the amount of flex I have in my upper body, the club will move more inwards and low, and you can see how it stayed very, very low to the ground. So very often, if we feel that our golf club is moving into some maybe less desirable positions in that first 3 or 4 feet, we need to first of all have a look at what the body's doing. What is that body's role in that? If the body is moving perfectly well and the club is doing something that's incorrect, then yes, we may well need to look at what the hands and the arms are doing and what their relationship is like to the body. But on many occasions, I will see golfers where as they start to move away, they begin to lose some of the flex in their body, club head moves too much up, and they believe this has got the wrong position. They're trying to move it back into the right position. Just because the club looks better, unfortunately, it doesn't mean it is. There's other things that are influencing where that club goes. So what are we trying to do? Well, we're trying to really move that golf club into a sort of position that we'd like by controlling how the body moves. Now, we're going to do a video probably over the next couple of weeks looking about how we pivot. So I'm not going to get into it too much in this video. However, how we pivot is really, really key. And we're going to go through that a little bit more, I'll say, in another video. What this video really is to do is to get you to understand that you can influence how the club moves away from the ball by simply changing your upper body and how much it bends or tilts forwards. So, for you out there, if you're struggling with your takeaway, you videoed it, you've looked at it on camera, it doesn't look particularly good, you would like to get that club moving into a much more what you class as a neutral position, fine, let's work on it, let's improve it. But let's understand that the body plays a huge part in this, and if we get the body to function correctly first, there is a great chance that that club is already going to fall into its sort of more the desirable position that you're after. So let's just do a few rehearsals. Let's feel at the arms, and their relationship to the body stays pretty constant for the first 2 or 3 feet. And let's see if we can get that club moving into some nice areas without standing up or without increasing the flex. You'll notice that that really affects where my club goes, even though the relationship to my arms and the chest is not changing. Hopefully that makes sense. Right, I'm just going to hit a little shot. I've only got a 6-iron on this par 4, so it's not going to be probably the club I'd hit off the tee. So I'm just going to do a couple of rehearsals and then just see if we can clip it down there. Okay, and that felt pretty good in the first move away. So takeaway can be so important. If you get the golf swing off to the wrong start, it can be very, very difficult. You can often have to add in some fixes later in. Let's get that takeaway good. Let's understand the role that the body plays in that, and that's hopefully going to help you hit some better shots out on the golf course. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, thank you to Aphrodite Hills for hosting me for a few days. A big thanks to Golf Breaks for making it all happen. Usual stuff is down below. There's a comments box, there's a like button, and there's a link to subscribe. If you are not a subscriber of my channel already, I would urge you to do so. There's more videos going up each week. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again soon.